Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the ranking member for holding this hearing today and allowing us the opportunity to talk about these two game-changing pieces of legislation that will help to transform water management across the West. I want to start this morning by thanking everyone who helped to draft and contribute to H.R. 7792, the Water Data Act, and H.R. 7793, the Rio Grande Water Security Act. These two bills are many, many years in the making and could not have been created without the input and support of colleagues on both sides of the aisle who made important contributions, our agricultural producers, farmers and ranchers, irrigation and conservation districts, acequias, state, tribal, and local partners, federal agencies, researchers and scientists, and conservation organizations, all of whom helped to shape and craft the legislation that's before us today. I also want to offer a special thanks and a warm welcome to Mr. Mike Hammond, who is New Mexico's state engineer and who is here to testify on behalf of these pieces of legislation, as well as our state land commissioner, Ms. Stephanie Garcia-Richards, who's also a great water and lands champion in our state. In New Mexico and across the West, our communities are facing an unprecedented millennial drought and water issues that we know are unlikely to abate in the near future. As we know, water is life, and yet we do not have the most basic information at our fingertips to manage water. Information about groundwater needed for livestock wells, information about the flow of water in our acequias and our irrigation districts, water needed for conservation and the preservation of various species. The Bipartisan Water Data Act is designed to address this challenge, to unleash the power of big data and transform water management not only across the West, but across the United States, and is based on a similar framework that was undertaken 2 decades ago to transform and standardize geospatial data. This bill, if enacted and put into place, will literally help to transform water management across our nation by creating a national framework for sharing, integrating, and utilizing water data. The other bill that I am here to present today is H.R. 7793, which is the Rio Grande Water Security Act, to help address long-term water needs on one of the West's most iconic rivers. The Rio Grande stretches 1,900 miles from its headwaters in Colorado down to southern Texas, where it empties into the Gulf. It crosses 3 states, an international border, dozens of tribes, and countless communities, serving millions of people across the West. And yet we do not have a single framework within all of these stakeholders can work together to address their water needs in the short term as we face drought, and in the long term as we face climate change. This bill, which is also a bipartisan bill and supported unanimously by our entire delegation, will bring a framework to the management and long-term resilience of the Rio Grande River so that our communities who have lived there for countless generations will continue to be able to live resiliently into the future. The bill also includes provisions to reauthorize the Pueblo Irrigation Fund, which is a crucial tool in helping our pueblos, which have used the waters of the Rio Grande since time immemorial, to help improve their infrastructure and address their water needs as we move forward into a climate change future. These bills are vital to the future of water in the West, and particularly in my home state. That is why these bills are bipartisan. It is why they are supported by congressmen and women across the aisle and across the West, as well as in the Senate. That is why they are supported by a wide swath of stakeholders, including the Family Farm Alliance, the Farm Bureau of New Mexico, Trout Unlimited, the Nature Conservancy, our states, tribes, pueblos, irrigation districts, and conservation districts, and many, many countless others. The time to act is now. Our river is anticipated to go dry this summer in significant stretches throughout New Mexico and the Rio Grande. If we are going to be able to meet the needs of our farmers, of our communities, of our tribes, and of the ecosystems that provide that life-sustaining support, we must act now. Congress must enact legislation to help support these communities and their future resilience. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.